Good afternoon, my friends. It's Krebs here, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of War Thunder. How are you guys getting along? Krebs is doing just fine. In this episode, we're going to be going through a pre-recorded game. It's not actually a live one, but I thought it was absolutely amazing. This video is actually going to be about my new favorite fighter, the BF-109. I actually can't believe I'm saying this. Especially on the last patch, the Germans were just so terrible to play. I absolutely hated them. I think I even made videos of just showing how difficult it was to play, but ever since this new damage model, flight models, whatever, this new patch, these things have actually quickly become my most favorite planes, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. I want to do a quick shout out though to Gaijin Entertainment for making such a good change to the economy system. If you guys haven't noticed, there's a new patch just this morning, this day, today, 2nd of April. Sorry if you're watching this in the future, but absolutely brilliant because they increased the air target income by 20% and also ground target income with bombers by 50%. So before we were going through a lot of torture, I know, but guys, I was going through it as well. Even though I might get a lot of kills in the match, it just looked treacherous in a way, seeing that a plane would cost you $1 million, if not more, lions. It was just like, oh wow, this is going to be a big grind. So thank you for going in the right direction. It's still a bit of a grind, but then again, it's a grind in a good way. They want you to keep playing the game, they want the game to have longevity, but they don't want people to suffer. So thank you Gaijin for actually listening to your people. Not like wargaming out there. You complain about one thing with wargaming, then they just make it worse, or they just change something completely. Mind you, like artillery, for example. Yeah, but anyway, guys, so let's focus on this actual game at hand. So, this is the BF-109 that I'm flying out in. This is the tropical version. So, I've got two in my arsenal, the standard and then this one, just different camouflages, that's all. Absolutely brilliant planes. You might say to yourself, well, say somebody asks you, I'm going to ask you right now, what is your most favorite plane to fly out in? Previously, I had a lot of different planes. Initially, when I first started playing the Brits, I loved the Bullfighter. I loved the Spitfires. When I started playing the USSR, I fell in love with pretty much every single plane that they had to offer, especially the Yak-9T, the Era Cobras. When I started playing the US, I fell in love with the Corsair, the Wildcats, the Era Cobras. All brilliant. And it's just down to their actual firepower, really, that made them so great. Especially, say for example, the Yak-9T, the Era Cobras, 37mm cannons, Yak-9T having the better one. They are absolute beasts. That's all I want to say. They're absolute beasts. Just they can shoot down planes so quickly. But even that, this has quickly become my most favorite plane out there, and it's just due to the versatility of it. You can do pretty much everything. In old planes, when you fly out with like the Era Cobras, the Yak-19s, yeah, fair enough, you'll have good firepower. That's always a great benefit. But when it comes to actual dogfighting, turn fighting, you're going to be suffering a little bit. There will be planes out there that can outturn you. Especially Japanese ones, like the Hyans. Hyan is another favorite of mine that I had previous to this one. But when you're in a BF-109, you can even start taking on Japanese planes because the maneuverability is so good in this. The Japanese, they will always suffer when they can turn fight very well, but the Japanese, one of the best ways to actually counter them is to actually turn fight whilst getting elevation, and Japanese can suffer a little bit in that department. It's a bit hard for them to actually get elevation whilst turning, and that's why this BF-109 is absolutely brilliant, because you can get sharp turns and you can keep on getting speed going on up. And that's due to a very powerful engine that the BF-109 has. I can't tell you exactly what it has inside of it, but I've been reading a little bit, and people and some history about it, sorry. And what I've read is that some modifications later on towards the end of the life of the BF-109, it eventually had, its main purpose was to get the biggest engine possible into the smallest airframe. And nearer towards the end of the life cycle of the BF-109, it had something like a 2,000 horsepower engine reaching up to 450 miles per hour. Insane how powerful it eventually became. And that's what I love about it. It has great engine power, can keep on turning, can win almost every single turn fight engagement. Not only that, has good defense capabilities on it. If you've watched my latest video about me dogfighting in this BF-109, it took a mass amount of shots. It took a ridiculous amount of shots. Absolutely brilliant. Not only that, you know, maybe the most underwhelming thing about it is the cannons. You know, it has one single 151 cannon. Has some machine guns as well. But, you know, in comparison to, say, a 37mm cannon, you know, it's 20mm. 37, 20mm. Big difference, right? But even that, it's still decent enough. It's still really, really good. I had this game previous to this one where I went something like 2 for 12 maybe, using BF-109s, and that was with default ammo. In this one, I actually loaded out my stealth ammo, and well, I'm not going to tell you how many kills I actually end up getting here, but it's absolutely amazing. You're just going to see the power of the BF-109. So, let's talk about the actual game. So, I'm engaging some opponents over here, over on fjords, all the way in Norway. And engaging them on the outskirts of the map. You know, a lot of times this map, there'll be the majority of the skirmishes will go on in the center side where there's all the ground targets, but occasionally I'll actually go out into this wee location over here, a bit to the outside of the map, where it's just nice and open, turn fighting for the win, and sometimes you get big dogfights over here, and that's just what happened. Spitfire coming straight directly at me. All I'm doing, just shooting off at around 700 meters or so, and then just cutting off. That's all I do. I get off some shots, and then I cut off because I don't want to be on the receiving end of his shots, whilst if he's still heading straight directly on me, he's going to be taking a mouthful of my ammo shots. And that's actually really, really common. A lot of times, there's a lot of newbies and puppies in this game. A lot of times they won't break away. They'll keep on going straight at you, and if you don't break away, they're going to crash into you. So if there's a lesson to be learned in that little engagement, you can always learn a lesson from pretty much every engagement, is break off. Break off. I hardly see it. Maybe 30 to 40% of the time I see people break off. Most of the time they're actually just going straight on. And so that's why you should just let off some ammo and then break off. Dodge those shots, and all I did, as you guys were seeing there, I just broke off a little bit to the side and then turned around so that I basically had an advantage over him. I was already turning when he was just zooming on past me, and that just led me to have a greater advantage of just being on a 6 straight away, especially in the BF-109. Alright, so going out for an IL-2. My biggest enemies, it's not the Yak-9T, it's not the Bullfighter, so to say, not its 4 Hispano cannons, it's not the Air Cobras. Those aren't my main enemies. To be honest with you guys, my main enemies is whenever I'm taking on attackers. Okay, whenever I want to down an attacker, those back gunners, and same with bombers as well. Those back gunners, they can be really, really deadly, and whenever you manage to actually knock a gunner out unconscious, it's actually a little bit like a saving grace, if anything. Oh man, having the absolute hardest time finishing off this IL-2. Somebody else actually getting it. I remember when I was actually playing this match, and I'm actually squatting up with a few people here. I remember when I was playing this match and I couldn't finish off that IL-2. I wasn't screaming, but I was shouting. I was like, oh what? I couldn't finish him off. And it was so frustrating as well because I had unleashed so much damage into him and somebody else managed to shoot once or twice and get the kill. But as you saw, the IL-2, he must have been stalling and heading down directly. He must have lost control, and because he was heading down in a straight line, you can imagine when you have too much speed in a plane like this, in a fighter, it's kind of hard to just, you know, get directly behind him. When you have too much speed, you're just going to be doing corkscrews around him, if anything. So I see Jackie Vamps being tailed by a Hurricane, just engaging him right straight on. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. I love those kind of engagements. They just, oh man, they make my heart so warm. Whenever somebody's coming straight on at you like that, obviously he was like tailing Jack anyway, so I knew he wasn't even gonna go for me, and that's what makes it so nice. He's not, you know, he's not gonna come for you. He's got a straight path because he's going for your teammate, and you're on top of him as well, so you got a good chance of just knocking him out completely. You got a great area exposed. He's not turned on the side. He's exposing as much area as possible. You got a clear shot on the pilot. That's how he just got knocked out near enough instantly. It's his fault, to be honest. Too much blood in his eyes. What he should have done was broken away. Make sure he had some cover. Or maybe start engaging me, if anything. Alright, some more kills. BF-109E over there. So another great plane to fly out in. If anything, when you're flying out in these... When you're flying out in general, no matter what plane you're using, you gotta prioritize your targets. Corsair, if I had a choice between downing a Corsair or a BF-109, I would definitely go for a BF-109. Because I know what capability it has. I know how superb they can be. Corsair, gonna be a lot harder to actually take on a BF-109 in a turret fight engagement. Very, very difficult. So, if anything, BF-109 would have been the main opponent. Oh well. Is my engine gone? Wing turned red. Yak 7 right there. Probably gonna be finished off. I think he's turning on the side right now. Who's gonna get the kill? Oh! And it's a ram! Congratulations, Krebs. Another thing I actually remember during the actual game. I was saying to myself, okay, I lost my engine. I was saying to everyone, actually. I lost my engine. I lost my wings red. I'm gonna die anyway. Might as well just ram him. And then I rammed into him, and I was like, yes! That is how we do it. So I've got a gigantic bomb attached to me, 250 kilos. I always keep my bombs attached to me, or loaded out. Because, just in case, if there's ever ground targets, if there's ever a pillbox, last pillbox that needs finished, I like to have my plane equipped with a bomb, with bombs on them. But if I'm ever going out into just fly generally into aerial combat, I'm just gonna drop that bomb because I don't need it. It's just extra weight. What's the point of keeping an extra weight, right? It's just quickly unloading some of that heavy tonnage, 250 kilos anyway. And just making yourself more maneuverable. Okay, so Typhoon heading on up. Easy. Probably gonna get him on the cross, I imagine here. Wow. Wow, no idea what he's doing. Absolutely no idea what he's doing. I think he was just completely clueless of the fact that he was just flying in such an open way. He's flying upwards, showing his belly, and such a great area. Killed him on the cross. Killed him on the cross, met him up a little bit higher when he was slowing down, especially because he was getting elevation, altitude. And then just finished him off, that's it. HE over here. Coming down on top of him. Who's going to finish him off? Is that me? Ooh, it's a critical anyway. Rudder damage. That's horrendous. If you got rudder damage, then you're pretty much guaranteed to lose control. Actually, who got that kill? I'll have to see that again. I actually managed to get that. But big air superiority on our team now. Only died once and got a number of kills. It's gonna be them with the last limbs now. There we go, you just saw the score. 10 kills, 1 death. Now it's just gonna be the stragglers, because this is what happens later on in the game. There's always the remaining planes. Whether it's attackers, whether it's bombers, fighters, doesn't matter. It's always going to be, usually, their worst planes remaining. People tend to just use their best planes first off, and then they just use the worst ones towards the end. And that's what That's what's happening right now. SU2, you know, that's slow. What's that going to do? What else is there? That's a P-39Q. That's an Aerocobra. That's still pretty good. That can combat quite well. Maybe that guy's had good survivability, or maybe he's been using different planes. Don't know. But that's at this point in the game, that's quite a threat. So you'd have to try to knock him out straight away. What else is that? Kai. Kai, that's a Hien, I believe. There's Spitfire as well. Spitfire is probably the least of my concerns, because if you're in a BF-109, you know, Spitfires, you can outmaneuver them. Otherwise, Spitfires can be quite problematic if you're in other planes. They have decent enough turn time. Yak 9T, big priority. Big priority. He's going to have to be finished off. If Yak 9T, you leave him unhindered, he will get kills. And anyone can. It doesn't even have to be an experienced pilot. Even somebody more inexperienced will be able to get a lot of kills in the Yak 9T. Just because those NS-37 cannons, they fire rapidly. They fire very, very rapidly. You don't have to have the best of aims. You can still manage to shoot them down quite effectively. Gladiator, see, these are people on their last limb planes, as I like to call it. This is literally his last limbs, and it just makes for such easy kills. And actually, it's almost it's almost nice in a way whenever somebody's out in a gladiator and you're in a high tier plane like this, you're going to be able to knock them out right away, and that just adds to your kill count. It's just another number to add onto it, isn't it? P39N, another priority target. Era Cobra. Anything with these big 37mm cannons, priority targets. Set on fire, no problem. And that's due to my stealth ammo. The stealth ammo is quite nice. It has a big variety of ammunitions in them. They have HE, they have armor piercing, they have incendiary. No tracers though, no tracers. But they have incendiary, and that's why sometimes you'll set them on fire like that. It's not going to last forever. And there we go, that's the Hien. I'm surprised nobody's actually shot him down. Maybe this is another one that he's come out in. It's not the 1B, so it's the 1A, which is the worser one. So maybe he actually was shot down previously, but yeah, that's him gone as well. And racking up even more kills. That's near enough just it. That's near enough just it. Winning this pretty much just by annihilation. 15 kills, 1 death. Alright guys, so I'll be honest with you, there's not going to be that much more happening now. Because there's pretty much no more enemies left on the map. Near enough all of them have been shot down. So what I'm going to do... Oh, there we go. It's actually doing it for me. I was going to skip on over to the stats so you can see them, but it's skipping on itself. See it any moment here. But yeah, 15 kills, 1 death in the BF-109s. And this isn't just a lucky game, guys. This is one... you can go ask RamJB. RamJB is another YouTuber. It's like this in near enough every game when flying out with the Germans. The Germans are absolutely great. I think they deserve the title of King of the Skies at the moment, especially the BF-109s. You know, people complain about the Yak-9T, people complain about the Era Cobras, but it's a matter of having an awareness around you. What is coming at me? What kind of arsenal do they have on them? Don't take a Yak-9T straight on, for example. If you see a Yak-9T, go for him straight away. Kill him before he kills other people. It's just having the situational awareness, and this is why I love the BF-109s. They have great versatility. You can turn fight, energy fight, good firepower. The stealth ammo is absolutely brilliant on it, and that's why I love them. But until next time, guys, this is Krebs, and I will catch you all later.
Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.